What's up YouTube? This is Antisocial Live, and today we have a very interesting topic, a very serious matter, and normally I would keep it to myself, but we have to talk today about coffee dates. And this is something that a lot of women get very defensive and very offended by the idea that a man would ask them on a coffee date. And understandably, as a woman, you tend to expect a man will, in the initial stages, say and do a lot of things that really compliment you. Sometimes it may not even be true, but the idea that the man wants to compliment you so much, or at least say the right things to get in your good graces. So for the person who would think that being invited on a coffee date would seem a very, not just unorthodox, but kind of offended. A lot of women would be kind of offended by the gesture. And of course, you're gonna have those men that will give them what they want because, of course, they plan to get something in return. Although I have never really gone on a coffee date, I have gone on simple dates, hang out at the park, catch a movie, things like that where you don't spend a lot of money because, of course, the main idea that they object against coffee dates is that you don't spend a lot of money on them. But I want to bring forward a different perspective on the whole matter, right? Because Chris Rock famously said that when you meet someone initially, in terms of a relationship, in terms of romantically, you don't actually meet them, you meet their representative. And what that means is that in the initial stages, if somebody is just meeting you and they want to get to know you, or they want the opportunity to get to know you a little bit more, or they want to get into your good graces, they will a lot of times portray the better part of themselves, or to some extent some people will even lie or pretend just to get in your good graces, right? And that is understandable. If you really think about it, you would really want to know what this person is about, because it's not like, alright, when you get to know the person and you're in a relationship with the person, it's not like you're going on fancy dinners every day. You're not going out, you're not hitting the town, spending a lot of money. You really get to know the person, and that's the person that you're stuck with, at least for the time being. I remember when I used to do architecture, and I was being trained by an architect, and when we do drawings and we're doing presentations, as a lot of architectural companies do, they will do a 3D rendering, or they will play up the design, make it look, do things to make it look a lot better, put a lot of lush greenery. They will put the best lighting, the best everything. But when you actually get into your home, when this home is actually built and you live, it's not always the best, but you want to know that, alright, you got a full idea of what you're getting. And he would normally call that cheating. Okay, let's cheat. And that is understandable. And that is how I look at the idea of going on fancy dates, because both parties are really cheating. Because, okay, say the man wants to get to clapping those cheeks, right? And the woman, she wants to get, some money from the man. What the man will do is, spend a lot of money if he has it to get into those drawers. You understand? And what the woman will do is she'll dress provocatively for the man to spend a lot of money on her. Mind you, this is the first time they are going out together. This is a date. They're just meeting each other, right? So they will not always be this person that they are going to be on this date. He's not gonna always be spending all that money. She's not gonna always be dressing like that. And a lot of times women say that how they met the man or what he was doing when she initially met him, he doesn't do that anymore. And just the same, men will say that how she used to dress, how he met her, she's not like, she doesn't do that anymore. She's not like that anymore. So the relationship goes sour. And it's just like you cheat on a test and you go into the real world and you're hired to do what you are supposed to know. You won't be very good at it, right? So that is my perspective of coffee dates, because coffee dates, I believe, is more aligned to getting to know the person. There's no facade, there's no trick, there's no cheating. And I would go as far as to say that a woman who would turn down a coffee date really has no interest or hasn't really considered the prospect of meeting the love of her life. This is really just another candidate who will give her money or spend money on her. Because if you really think about it, women get approached every day. Women get approached constantly. If she was to give every person that approaches her the opportunity, it actually wouldn't even be possible. But I say that to say, when a woman chooses to go out on a date, she knows that the probability that this will be the love of her life is highly unlikely. If she goes out with 10, maybe she will like 2. On the other hand, when a man goes on a date with a woman, if he's not like the top 1% of earners, he's thinking it's quite possible that this person who he invited out, genuinely wanting to get to know her, may not very well want to go further with the relationship.
I'm not opposed to them because I get it. Like, you don't want to waste your time and your money if you can tell instantly off bat that it's not going to go anywhere. So I feel like it's a great way to maybe connect and see if there's an actual chemistry there. Facts. Then maybe you can plan a real date. And if there's not any chemistry there, then you just leave it at coffee.
So if you really think about it, a coffee date would not only benefit the man, but it would also benefit the woman, because, as I said, you're meeting his representative. If I know what impresses a woman is how much I spend on her, then I will spend it if it is sure that I will get what I want. And that will have no bearing on my personality, no bearing on what I really intend, or where do I really intend to bring a relationship with this person. I have no problem with fancy and upscale dates, yes, but a lot of men these days are more focused on their purpose and their objectives, that they are really looking for a woman that will not take away from their purpose, but be a factor in their life that encourages them and makes them want to do better. Because at the end of the day, what people do on a fancy date at a high-end restaurant, spending all types of money and bags and all these things that women are saying that men should do, they don't do that. That's not gonna be done all relationship long. And just the same, the woman doesn't want to be expected to look stunning all the time, always wearing makeup, always in makeup and hair, always dressing her best. Sometimes she wants to dress down, put on sweats and just be around the house. And that's fine, that's okay. But what I am saying is that it is best getting to know a person, not to cheat, not to expect a facade, not to expect a distraction, but to get to know this person and to figure out if this is a person that you would want to be with for an extended period of time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Of course, make sure to hit the like button, also subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you can get videos as soon as they are posted. For now, we expect to post one video per day, but for sure as subscribers go up, then you know it's about to go down.